Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. Welcome to this session. So, this is a personal development and expansion session that runs across the reprogramming your mind and recreating your reality course. So basically, these sessions are guided tutorials or guided sessions where I'm going to take you through this course and really highlight some of the more important aspects of it and sort of structure and lay it out in a way that helps you understand and consume and navigate and decipher this document in an easy way that sort of feels natural to you, that is more beneficial. So, a couple of things before we start. First thing, willingness to believe. So, willingness to believe is important. So, you have to be willing to believe that what is said in this document is true. Otherwise, it is pointless, for you will not pay attention or sort of memorize anything or take in any of the information, because why take in irrelevant information? So, you have to agree to say this is relevant information, irrespective of anything else, and then you will get the benefits of it. And the second thing is you have to trust that I am truthful. Otherwise, you will create resistance between what I say and what you perceive to be within your reality. So, should you choose, and it's a conscious choice, an agreement with self, to choose to believe and be willing and have willingness to trust, you will get everything that you seek. That is the thing. So we're going to go through it, and I'm going to briefly outline sort of what the first session will feel like. So essentially, we go through and we've got my framework for success. So this is basically my interpretation of a scientific method that I created to be able to problem solve and sort of overcome complex problems and complex challenges that you may face and things like that. So basically, in everything in life, what we're looking to do is we're looking to understand our motivations for why we are doing anything. Like, what is our purpose? So I call it a mission to grow. And it's basically just like, what are you doing this for? Do you sort of get it? So, like, you've got to have a reason behind your actions for an outcome or things like that. If we're on the battlefield and you don't have objectives, it is hard to keep moving forward. Do you sort of get it? But if you have objectives, you're moving forward. So, we see those as milestones or markers. The milestones and markers are not the battle, they're just keys along the way for us understanding that we're moving in the right direction towards what we want. So basically, we start off with a scope, understand what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, set out your battle plan, so to speak, know the terrain, understand your enemy, all of this sort of stuff. Now, I created this process for that, for military strategy and for understanding in combat how I survive and the opponent doesn't. Do you sort of get it? So for me, there's a lot of meaning behind this, and you'll understand the meaning you put behind things is the weight and power it holds. That's why this means so much to me, is because I know in battle, in combat, if we are mano a mano and fighting to the death, this process will allow me to pick you apart. That's the thing. So it's important to understand this, because I did not create this course or this knowledge for anyone but myself. I'm sharing and deciphering it with you to give you what I have created for myself, which is the ability to reprogram my mind at will and recreate reality as it is. So it's very important to understand the value of what I've said. So basically, we go through and we get a thesis going. because we have to have a prediction. We have to make a guess and say, I think X is going to equal Y. You know what I mean? We got to have objectives. What are we trying to achieve? Do you sort of get it? Like, if I understand what my objectives are, it's easier to take steps forward because I'm able to self-navigate and self-direct. It doesn't matter what the objectives are, but if I have objectives, I have targets to go for. But most importantly, we need to know the mission. So we always need to understand why. Our objectives aren't based in why, our objectives are based in what and how. Do you sort of get it? My objective isn't why I'm doing it. My objective is what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. My mission is why. So my mission is the why, the reasoning behind. Do I see opportunity for value? Do I see opportunity to resolve pain? Things like that. Do you know what I mean? So understanding your why gives you the fuel behind your sort of push along your objectives. Strategy. Strategy is always important because if we don't understand what we are trying to accomplish, what we are trying to achieve in life, what will happen is we won't have a conceptual understanding or a conceptual framework or a conceptual visualization or imagery of what we are doing. And if we don't have that, we don't see. So we're trying to see conceptually if, for example, I'm learning marketing, like I'm not just trying to learn marketing and memorize a book, I'm trying to get a conceptual framework and understanding of how marketing works and what I have to do along the way and sort of how the levers are that I push and pull to create change within it. Do you sort of get it? So the strategy isn't, the marketing because you don't need to strategize marketing. That's fucking stupid. That's what idiots do. Your strategy is the complexity of your comprehension of marketing. Because the more complex you understand it, or the more intricate or deeper layers, or multiple layers. So it's not that any one aspect is more complex than the other. It's just to understand certain aspects, you must have foundational understanding in other aspects. So they compound on each other. Do you sort of get it? So many people go around trying to trick, thinking they're strategizing their words. Motherfucker, strategize your understanding and visualization, your ability to see multi dimensions to each situation or problem or circumstance or opportunity that you are in. Do you sort of get it? So when you understand that, then you see the level of competition. It's not in trying to trick people by convincing them with your words. It's by understanding how to connect the dots that they don't even see. So it looks like magic when you do things for them. Do you sort of get it? Where you wave your hand and all their wishes, dreams come true, just like this course will do for you. Do you sort of get it? I'm very strategical. So just understand this course will do things you cannot understand. But the truth is, you have to trust and believe me. That's it. If you trust and believe me, you get everything in this course. All right, deployment. So we have to deploy and execute. So we got to understand how am I taking steps forward? How am I taking my actions forward? And once I understand what actions I need to take, I just take them. And if I don't understand what actions I need to take, I start taking actions because I need to collect data before I can make like logical decisions and rational decisions. So we jump down to our observations. Observations are data collecting. They're the initial stage of data collecting. So we want to observe others in whatever we do. If I'm learning marketing, I'm not trying to learn it from the fucking mythics in the sky, so to speak. Now, we can do that as well. So that's the thing you got to realize. The more you understand, the deeper you can get into it, the more you can access knowledge and information through conscious awareness, and conscious awareness is life. It is the energetic state of life, and it is the underpinning energetic state that upholds me existing within reality and life. So you can access that, but for this, we're talking about your observational data, your collecting of watching other people and sort of experiencing through them and experiencing through your attempt to either recreate, replicate, or expand on what they've done. Do you sort of get it? For example, someone might run 500 meters, you run a kilometer. Do you sort of get it? You're expanding on what they did, and maybe you didn't know how to run before you learned from them. Do you sort of get it? So it's very important to understand this stage, observation. It's the most crucial stage, but it is the stage that runs along throughout all stages. Do you sort of get it? Then we have analysis. So this is deeper than observation. Observation is where we're collecting all raw data. Analysis is where we are connecting dots and bonds of association or associational bonds, i.e., if the price of fuel goes up or the price of oil per barrel goes up, the price of fuel goes up. They're two associational bonds that go there. If the price of oil goes up and the price of fuel goes up, right? What happens to like travel companies? Travel companies go down. Still an associational or relational bond, but they have two completely different effects. Do you sort of understand? So through analysis, we are doing a much deeper look to try and collect the sort of or collate the data so that we're able to really identify trends, patterns, and things like that. All right. And then we have outcome. So we're measuring the outcomes from the actions we initially took. So we've analyzed, collected all the trends and all of that. And now what was the outcome? Did we progress towards our goal? Did we achieve our goal? Do we need to improve to achieve our goal? When we go through the results, what we're looking at is we are looking at trying to understand this is what I got from X input, I got Y output. So if X input increased 20% and its coefficiency or efficiency rating increased by 20%, what investment would be required to do that? And what would be the, compounding or the multiplication or multiplying factor of outcome? So this is where we get into projecting and predicting. Do you sort of get it? So I can estimate if it costs me, $1,000 to run advertisements and I collected 10 leads and or 10 buyers and those 10 buyers purchased, let's say, $3,000 worth of products. Well, now it's like if I put in 1,500, well then I can probably get 4,500 back. Do you sort of get it? And we're able to do rough calculations, and as we compound down the performance and the development and the self-mastery, we're really able to multiply that. And that's how we get coefficiency to where our output, okay? So our output far exceeds our input. And this is how we look to find and build sustainable models, i.e., I cut down a tree. If I only get one plank of wood per tree, I'm going to run out of trees trying to just build a house. Do you know what I mean? So we have to find more efficient ways of cutting up and dividing the tree so that we're able to maximize the amount of planks per tree. Do you sort of get it? So it's very important that we understand this, because the more we start to understand this, the more we start to understand this process, that it's just the natural process that we go through. In anything that we do, this is naturally the process that we will do. Do you know what I mean? It's just most of us do it unconsciously because we never really thought about it. That's the difference. I consciously thought about it to create it, but it was all just the unconscious process and practices. So one of the final steps is ways of improving. So this is where we look to increase that coefficiency gap and really move into understanding how to create like the multiplier. So how we can lower our input and multiply our output. So not lower our costs, but lower our costs through our like quality and quantity. Do you know what I mean? So we're not looking to lower quality for more quantity. We're looking to increase quality and increase quantity through mastery and self-efficiency and things like that. All right, then we got reassess and re-engage. So we've now understood our ways of um, improving our process or whatever it is. So it works across everything, learning, selling, marketing, whatever it is. Okay. So we've reassessed how we could improve it. And now we're going to implement those improvements and re-engage and run that process. And essentially, we keep running that process until it gets perfect. Do you sort of get it? Look back 2 years and you'll see the quality of my videos and look at the quality of my videos now. Far greater. That's the thing. All right. So we've gone through that. So now we're going to touch on self-validation and understanding self-validation. Okay. So what is self-validation? It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's basically you valuing your opinion above others, not at the expense of others. It's just within you. How you view yourself is more important than what Tom, Dick, or Harry down the street thinks of you. Do you sort of get it? This is what becomes important for becoming decisive, confident, empowered, having self-belief. You have to be the one to build it. So you can't be worried about what Tom, Dick, and Harry think because all Tom, Dick, and Harry want to do is tear you down because they got nothing better to do on a Tuesday afternoon. Do you sort of get it? So what we want to understand is we want to start to understand, well, how do I go through the process of valuing myself above others without falling into the trap of the ego? And it's not that you're opinion is more valuable than their opinion to you. Your opinion is more valuable than their opinion. To them, their opinion is more valuable than your opinion. So it doesn't matter if someone doesn't agree with you, if they don't think the same way as you, well, that doesn't matter because your opinion is irrelevant to them. Do you sort of get it? Just like theirs is irrelevant to you. So it's not that one has to win. They don't have to because none of them hold value and they all hold value, but they only hold value to the individual who holds them. So that's the thing. So we understand to drop the ego, we stop valuing our opinion to others and we start valuing our opinion to ourselves. Do you sort of get it? All right. So we'll go through and understand a bit of my thesis on self-validation. So when we're trying to understand self-validation, think about it like this. What we're understanding is like language implantation or language creation. Is the language or narratives or beliefs or thoughts that I hold thoughts, beliefs, narratives that have been implanted in on me, or are they thoughts, beliefs, and narratives that I have created? So it's not to say that other people's opinions are irrelevant, but it's just if I'm valuing someone else's opinion or their belief as if it's my own, I am creating conflict within my own experience and existence. Because what I'm doing when I value someone else's opinion, if it conflicts with what I believe to be what I want in life, then I feel like it's wrong for me to want what I want in life. So we have to clear out all of those. And there's practices further along in the course that go through and do that. But essentially, we want to clear out all the beliefs of other people and the thoughts and the narratives. And then we want to create our own so that we're able to create our authentic self so that we can feel free and limitless as ourself without needing anything. Do you sort of get it? So it's very important to understand self-validation because it's a very, very powerful foundational sort of structure. So this is the key foundation of personal development, self-development, and healing yourself. Okay, once you understand self-validation, then you can do self-belief. Then you can do because the problem is without self-validation, if you try and do self-belief, you're building your belief but validating it to external factors or external people. Self-validation is validating everything internal. So you need that understanding, that foundational understanding, so that you're able to then move on and now build up belief through the internal. Okay, it makes it much stronger. You're not as flimsy or crumbly. You don't go against yourself. And then you're able to do self confidence, self worth, self value, and all of that. And you're able to build up the internal self, the aspect of self. All right. So we're going to jump into now some advanced practices. So, alrighty. So what we're going to look at first is understanding language patterns. So people don't understand language. They think it's a sound, like a just some nonsensical thing that we just don't know. It's a synaptic pathway. Do you sort of get it? Every word you say, every action you do, every movement you do, every feeling you feel is a synaptic pathway. So when we understand this, we understand in language, I have synaptic pathways that make me feel positive, that are linked to positive emotional states, and I have synaptic pathways that are linked to negative emotional states. Now I can rewire those synaptic pathways to be instead of negative, positive without having to change the language, or I can change the language and create new associational bonds. Do you sort of understand? So we understand language is more than just the words I say. It's the structure, the cadence, the additional meaning that's put behind it, and my understanding and why of why I'm saying it. Do you sort of get it? If I say something and the reason is I'm angry, well, my natural brain, okay, my subconscious mind associates angry like language of anger with the emotional state of anger. So I'm going to subconsciously trigger anger. I can always like personally, I train mine to be happy. So the thing is, the angrier I get, the more psychotically happy I get. Do you know what I mean? So in a fight, I just become more and more and more excited. It's a funny thing because people don't understand why. But the reason why I did that is because I want to try and mask my aggression and anger. Okay. So I want to mask my aggression and anger under the false guise of joy and happiness because you're going to expect a weaker response. But on the surface, I'm joyful and happy, but inside, I'm preparing for war. Do you sort of get it? It's very important to understand this. People don't understand it, but that's what we can do because if I want to diffuse a tense situation, it if I'm joyful and happy, it means my guard is low. So what we're doing is we're tricking the psychological state into assuming that my guard is low, but inside my guard's not low. Do you sort of get it? That way, when you attack, you're going to attack weaker because you don't think you need to use as much force. Do you sort of get it? So it's very important to understand this because we're able to utilize this to really do like some pretty powerful things within our own life. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for example, if I'm someone in life who always has people lie, cheat, and steal and whatever, like, I'm able to create a trap where you show your hand before I even need to worry about you taking from me. Do you sort of get it? Like, for example, if you have to deal with narcissists a lot, the easiest way to deal with a narcissist is to sort of don't try to protect yourself. Like, assume false gullibility, where you don't question what they say, you don't confront what they say, and you allow them to their hubris to take sort of control. And it always happens. So people get up in their own arse, especially if people are narcissistic, where if they believe that you don't realize that they have malintent against you, it sort of isn't this empowering and embolder, emboldering, whatever experience, but the hubris. So the downside to the ego is the ego focuses everything on external, not internal. So the ego has a distorted view of self. That's the funny thing. So in combat and war, the ego is what gets you killed because you know if there is, for example, a sniper, it is not safe to put your head up, but the ego will say, but I could just look over and see if someone is coming. Do you sort of get it? That's the funny thing. The ego is too focused on other to understand what's coming at. So when we are preparing, especially if you're preparing for combat or war, you don't want the ego. You always want to have the assumption that I am at the bottom of the hill and I am fighting up the hill. I am not at the top of the hill fighting down the hill. Because if I'm at the top of the hill fighting down the hill, but in reality I'm at the bottom of the hill fighting up the hill, I am going to be ill prepared for the climb because I was expecting not to have to even descend. Do you sort of get it? So we understand the psychological trap of language, of perception, and that's what language structures perception through meaning, okay, our why. So an easy one to understand is I don't touch the hot plate on the stove because it burns. Do you sort of get it? It's not because it's hot, it's because it fucking burns me. Do you sort of get it? So, like, the reason why is an experience. So, when we understand why, so the preference of why, it is experiential. We are triggering experiential responses, not logical responses. Experiential responses are within the subconscious mind. Do you sort of get it? So when I use like language that focuses on why or how, like, well, not so much how, but like if something happens to me, it's like, why does that affect me? Okay, not why did that happen to me because I'm focused on the external. I'm always internal. Why does that affect me? Why does that bother me? Why did, this cause me to feel this way? Why? Do you sort of get it? So we're using language to go internal, but to also understanding the why allows for the emotional response. The why triggers the emotional response because the why is linked to memory or experiential memory. Okay, very important to understand this because when we understand the why being associated to like experiential memory, this is how I can retrain my brain from negative experiences causing negative emotions and memories to negative experiences causing positive emotions and memories. Okay, so we're going to jump on to the next one now and understand retrospection. So, retrospection, okay, when we're thinking about it, what does it mean? Looking back. This is a practice where we're looking back on past experiences, past memories. Okay, so it's based out of NLP. So neural linguistic reprogramming, okay, is not reprogramming in a traditional sense. Okay, it is reassociation of the image or identity of self in past memories. Very important. The more we understand of this, it means that things that happened to me when I was a child, when I look back and see them now, I don't see myself as that child and experiencing it happening to me again and again as the child. I see it as who I am now. And guess what? I get to do whatever the fuck I want. So, like, for example, in those negative experiences, my man, like, to people who take negative action against me, it's just my answers like, if you do that to me now, I'm just going to attack you violently and viciously. You know what I mean? And it's sort of like this. If you attack me and I see your knee is weak, I'm breaking your leg. That's the thing. Like, I'm going to be vicious and violent. So when I look back on past experiences, I'm not looking back as a victim now. I'm looking back at how I would deal with it and move forward. Do you sort of get it? So, an important thing to healing or moving through past trauma, okay, is new actions moving forward. That is the key to heal past trauma. When I understand what I'm going to do, what actions I'm going to take moving forward, it is much easier for me to feel confident letting go to the need to protect myself, to the need to hold on to the pain. So, new actions moving forward allow you to let go to the trauma. Okay. And then the next key is it's not something I don't like, it's something I don't want. I just don't want it. If I don't like something, I have to try to avoid it. If I don't want something, motherfucker, I dropped that 2 kilometers ago. Do you sort of get it? It doesn't matter. So reassociate your language to never use I don't like this, just I don't want this. So, like, for example, if I go into business, I don't want to fail. Do you sort of get it? So, I'm not going to fail. It's not that I don't like to fail, because if I don't like to fail, oh, I can't fail. I have to try and avoid failure. But if I don't want to fail, fuck it. I'm not gonna fail. Do you sort of get it? Because if I don't want to do something, I don't have to do something. Do you sort of get it? If I don't like to do something, I gotta do it still. Do you sort of get it? Understanding the language, understanding the synaptic pathways, they create two different conceptions of reality because if I don't want something, I am the one making the decision that it is not for me. If I don't like something, it's an external factor that I'm trying to avoid because it makes me unpleasant. Very important to get this. Do you sort of get it? I don't want pain, but I enjoy it. Do you get what I mean? So we understand that this practice I personally created for my own PTSD from childhood. I had a not a it wasn't a physically violent childhood, like there was physical violence, but it was more psychological. Do you know what I mean? Being 8 years old, walking down the street and having a 50-something-year-old dude threatening to kill you, and the only reason you got out of there is because God told you when to move. Do you sort of get it? Like, that's the thing. So it's very important to understand this that, like, I'm not coming to you from a place of having a trauma-free life. Do you know what I mean? I just don't hold on to it. I've let go to it because it's irrelevant. Do you sort of get it? Because I have new actions moving forward. So I don't need to hold on to it. All right. So validating oneself. Very, very important practice because when we start to understand how do I validate me? Because to validate oneself is to do it external of other. So how do you validate yourself? Do you sort of get it? Like you've just got to do it yourself in your own way, however you want to do it and figure out your own process. Do you sort of get it? Because it has to be of you, otherwise it will feel foreign to you. Do you sort of get it? All right, full brain activation practice. So this is very important. The full brain activation practice is based off of kinesthetic learn, well, psyche, so psychology, kinestology. the movement of the body and the activation of the brain, and then understanding with the psychological aspect, the structuring and creating and curating of the conscious and unconscious minds. Though I go a lot deeper and a lot more flexible than Psyche. So the foundation of the understanding is based from Psyche, and then I have expanded and sort of made it simpler because Psyche is created by psychologists, so it is very formal and structured. It is the best one. I had a psychologist introduce me to it when I had my first mental breakdown. And literally, I called it black voodoo magic, but it's not black voodoo magic. It is just advanced or synaptic, okay, reconditioning, okay, development. Like, so basically, all we're doing is developing synaptic pathways, okay, through conditioning. So through muscle memory, because all muscle memory is a synaptic pathway. Do you sort of get it? It's the exact same process. So how do I get muscle memory at something? I do it again and again and again and again and again in a short period of time, and I just keep doing it until I've got it. So we're doing that in the constraint of language pattern, belief, and emotion. Do you sort of get it? So the full brain activation practice allows you to now understand how to activate your higher states of consciousness and really start to curate and structure your mind to create whoever you want to be in this life. Not someone you're not, but to create who you want to be, who you've always dreamed of being. This is why it's recreating your reality, because you can restructure and reshape who you are and your image and identity like that. And anyone can talk shit, but who cares? Because you've done the work. Do you sort of get it? Awesome. All right. So we're going to go over one more part and then basically finish off this session. And then if you purchase the course, you will get a session like this, a personalized session where I'll go through and I'll explain it like this in detail to you so that you understand how to utilize it. And I can shave thousands of hours off of your journey. For me to understand all of this knowledge, and this is only 10% of what I am writing, okay, and creating. So basically, 100,000 hours of knowledge is up here. And many people think I'm full of shit, but it's up here because I can just talk for tens of thousands of hours. So this course will eventually become a 1,000 hour course and a manual. So it's an ever evolving course. I'm just going to add every bit of knowledge that I have to it, and it is my working manual. All right. So using full brain activation practices with validation practices, okay? So what we're understanding now, okay, is I'm creating the heightened state. So my left hand, like my right hand is controlled by my left hemisphere. My left hand is controlled by my right hemisphere. Do you sort of get it? When I cross across the hemispheres, I have now activated it. Now I'm in a heightened state of being because I am forcibly making my brain have to activate my left and right hemispheres simultaneously. So now I have many different things. Like I have access to my emotional state. I can understand and comprehend emotions before they were illogical because my unconscious mind doesn't have it like doesn't have like logic, and my conscious mind, which has logic, doesn't have emotion, doesn't understand emotion. Do you sort of get it? So now I'm force rebooting and making it so that it's sort of like go and control alt delete when you want to get the task manager up to end a program that sort of freezes. It's like I'm going to keep doing it till it works. And guess what? It always works or I hold the power button and I force it to work. Do you sort of get it? We're taking that mentality to the brain in terms of I'm going to create the language structures, the language beliefs, like my beliefs. I'm going to create the emotions I want to feel, and I don't give a fuck what my conscious or unconscious mind says. I'm going to feel them, and if they don't like it, they don't like it. Do you sort of get it? They're going to break before I'm going to break because I am the higher consciousness, the one that controls the aspect of self and the unconscious aspect of self. Do you sort of get it? My conscious mind and my unconscious mind are tools. My ego is a tool to understand. My unconscious emotions are a tool to connect with. Do you sort of get it? I am not my thoughts and emotions. They are tools I use to move through life. All right. Well, I'm going to stop this one here, but I hope you guys have an amazing day. And yeah, access the course and you will get your very own for your first session for free, and they will be recorded like this and sent across to you. All right, fill out your details, access the course, and it sounds good. Thanks so much. Bye.